A, Ø, I, O, U.
That's some funky music, baby. Oh, yeah. You know you like that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. A little dirty girl action going on there for you. Do you like a little dirty girl action?
My goodness. That's a question.
All right. Yeah. So welcome back. I'm going to try to be a little, maybe not so rambunctious. Tiara's got a bit of a migraine going on right now. So
half my face.
But I've shut off most of the lights, but I can still read a little bit. And if you want to see me do silly things, I'm on TikTok. So what? Are you making faces over there?
No.
Oh, okay.
Like, wait, what did I do?
I don't know. But anyway, so if you want to see me doing silly shit, we're on TikTok.
Mostly you now. But...
At some point, Tiara will be on there doing silly shit with me as we do some of the lip syncs from the show. So far, I've gotten a fairly decent response on what I've done, on the couple that I've done so far, but they've been fun. The cosplay contest, again, if you want to be part of the cosplay contest, just hop on over to howareyounowpod.com/cosplay. And then send us your cosplays. Send us your TikToks. I think that, would a if a cosplay TikTok.
Oh, hell yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Tight. So we'll do that. Also, music. Music today is from our good folks at Flexidecibel, and some good funky music. And if you would like to have your independent band's music played on our show, hit us up, hosts@howareyounowpod.com, and we would like to play you. I mean, come on, we like you, you like us. We'll play your music.
Let's hang out.
Yeah, hang out. Things. We'll flirt a little bit. Oh wait, hang on. No, that's something else. Anyway, who do you like? Anyway,
that's a long list.
Anyway, if you'd like to leave us a voicemail with any questions you have, any dad jokes you may have, it might help Tiara feel better.
Yes.
That's at 304-50 Ferda. And we will play. I think we have one out there, and I neglected to get it. It was from Renee. And he told me it was for their last week, and then I forgot. So I apologize. But
we'll just have to do it on our next episode that we're also recording this weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like I said, music this week is from our friends at Flexidecibel. Our guest this week is our good old friend, Awesome. Awesome. How are you now?
Good, and you?
Oh, not so bad. We've missed you. We've missed doing this.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, what you been up to?
Not a lot. I mean, COVID times, I don't like to use that as an excuse, but it's kind of a big excuse.
So lots of partying is what you're saying.
Yeah. And
she's not in Florida.
Yeah, unfortunately, my last living grandparent passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Sorry about that.
So I am an orphan now.
Well, but I mean, you can still call me daddy.
No, I think you mean daddy.
Daddy. Yeah, exactly. You got it. Nailed it. Does that make you feel better, baby? Is your head feeling better now?
Oh, so much. This is great.
Can I call Tiara mommy too?
No.
Yeah, I would like that.
No.
Yep, that's it. We're there.
I'm nobody's mommy.
Mommy. Are you my mommy?
Mommy. Okay, now that kind of mummy would be different.
So yeah, So before we get anything new you're doing? I mean, I know we have newly become the head moderators for the Letterkenny subreddit. Eric,
that's the thing that happened.
Eric has moved on. I mean, it's some work, and I know you have a very big passion in it, and you make a lot more time for it than I can, and which I appreciates that about you.
Is that what you appreciates about her?
But yeah, that's so yeah, and we're over 200,000 users in there, and including even though we're banning the hard right and left there, but we try to keep that as a safe Letterkenny space for everyone.
Yeah, I think at last count we were just over 204,000.
So yeah, that's just over 200,000 more followers than we have on our Twitter right now.
There you go.
But that's okay. I'm happy with what we have. We're at 3,500 right now, and I think if we hit 5,000 at some point, I'll be really excited. But
that'd be a big thing, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? We're coming up, and I would expect by the end of us finishing this season, we're going to be at over 100,000 downloads total.
That's crazy.
So, yeah, we're close. We're at 98,600 something right now.
Hey, Dean.
That's cool.
Dean, you remember when we went to go see My Dad Wrote a Porno live and we decided to do a podcast?
Mm-hmm.
How many people? How many downloads?
Yeah, almost 100,000.
That's crazy.
Doing good. Yeah. Oh, boy.
Hi, everybody.
But anyway, so yeah, last week, I know it doesn't seem that long ago. I mean, actually, as of today, the episode dropped yesterday, but because we're recording this a bit earlier than we normally would.
We're double teaming it this weekend.
Double team. But our last episode, episode 4 of season 9, Mitzvah, with our buddy Renee Encarnacion, who's also a good long timer with us, who brought in Dan Harosh to come hang out with us and talk about the episode that he acted and wrote. And so that was a lot of fun.
That was super cool. I was very excited about that.
Yeah, Dan's a really good guy. He was fun to hang out with and get to know. So yeah, I'm hoping he does more episodes and hoping I get to chat with him again. So I mean, I'm
just glad Avi's coming back.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
I'd swipe right on that.
Right?
Hype.
Yeah.
Hype. So yeah, that was a lot of fun. And anyway, so we learned all about Judaism, everything you would ever need to know. All the things. It was in one 30-minute episode.
Totally.
Everything you need to know, and you can get on JSwipe. So
yeah, if there's a bunch of goyim flooding on JDate after this, I'm going to be I will throw hands with that boy.
Willing to convert.
Yeah, it's like as long as they click willing to convert.
I have been circumcised, so there you go. So anyway, let's talk about having a sleepover, shall we?
Oh, okay.
All right. So, and this episode is kind of a weird one. There's a lot of quick cuts between scenes, which I mean, of course they filmed them. They didn't film them like that, but that's just how they were. So, but we start off though with the open at Modine's, and Wayne, Derry, Dan, and Jim Dickens are all at the bar, and Gail's explaining how she had a hard time getting her truck to start, and it took her 5 to 6 times to get that going. Then the boys go full dad mode. They start in on what kind of oil she uses and the mileage it gets, and that it might be the transmission. Is it automatic? Is it manual? Is it semi-automatic? like it's a gun. So anyway, is it hydraulics? Is it the clutch? Is the lack of is she using her heating block at this time of year because it's winter? And then they question her whether or not she's switched to her winter tires, as if that would have anything to do with her truck not starting. Then they get to the dreaded subject of all cars made after the 70s, the computer. And so they grumble over this for a bit, and then they ask her about the gas that she puts in the truck, and that that she should listen to the dealer about what the type of gas, because they don't have anything to lose with that. But then they start talking about the dealers, and I think they're all focused on at least one particular dealer. I don't know if it's all the same dealer for all of them, but the dealers are apparently degens in essence, and that they're apparently very bad people, and they're well aware of it. So
yeah, I took it to mean that they were all talking about the same guy.
Yeah, and so there's.
I want to talk about that a little bit more later.
It turns out.
Yeah, it turns out the gas cap was just loose and won't turn over unless she's airtight. So onward.
So little things like that can, and that does happen. It's weird. I don't know why that happens, but it's weird. So now from there, we start off with the kitchen, and Katie, Derry, and Wayne are all playing Monopoly. Katie states her love for this winter weather. Then we're just getting through a whole bunch of scenes, the basement with the skids playing video games, talking about how they love the cold months. Over at Gail's, Bonnie, Rosie, and Gail are all playing Scrabble. Riley and Jonesy's place, they're laying in bed watching Hockey Night in Canada. Back at the kitchen, we find that Wayne and Derry are losing horribly to Katie. And then finally, we're back over at the basement. Stuart and Roll are talking about the games that they're playing and how they're all holding up over the years. And we hear something from the background that this will be the first time we've ever heard in Letterkenny. Coffee, tea, Sega! Coffee, tea, Sega! From Connor and Darian in the background. So
the first words uttered by them.
These are the first words from our silent skids. So back over to Gail's. Turns out that they're playing with the French letters for their Scrabble game. And then Riley and Jonesy, the boys are lamenting when it gets to the end of the game of the doubleheader, and they're it's kind of end of the night. And back to the kitchen. They're playing Monopoly. Derry wants to sell Baltic Avenue to Katie. Wayne jumps on him for going out of turn because, Wayne is very much a stickler for the rules. Katie then tells him to quit trying to sell his shitty properties. Derry asks what she wants, and...
All 4 railroads.
Good buddy. Derry, look at me. Don't do it, Derry. For what?
Cash.
Derry, don't do it. How much?
200, Super Chief.
Yeah, your fucking mind?
I need cash.
Derry needs cash.
How offended Wayne was, though, that she was only offering 200 for that.
I mean, it's
he's like, the wages of sin are poor.
Yeah.
So, like, Derry. I mean, he calls him, fully yells at him, Jack, it's not your turn, jackass. And then as soon as Derry, as soon as it's made clear about what's about to happen, he's like, Derry. Look at me.
He 180s on a dime.
But it's, you got to think about the consequences. If you make this, that she's then going to control all of the things, and Derry does not think that far ahead. Or Wayne is like, in a second, like, wait a second. I know what's going to happen now. Don't fucking do it, dude. Look at me. Don't do it.
So, yeah.
know that she has shafted Wayne like that before.
Oh, yeah.
That's definitely happened.
Right. So from there, we've got a lot of, we're cutting back and forth from the basement where Stuart needs to beat Dr. Eggman. Gail and all of them, they're lacking consonants. Riley and Jonesy, Calgary's losing to Edmonton. Back at the kitchen, Katie's still trying to negotiate with Derry, and Wayne's still trying to talk him out of it. He does it anyway. Then Stuart finally wins. Gail, Bonnie, and Rosie all dump their. I'll decide that they're just going to dump the game. So Riley and Jones, Edmonton wins. The end of the night, kitchen. Katie makes a deal, proceeds to make Derry lose. He concedes. Katie wins. They're all done playing. It's good night, Canada. Wayne at that point has an idea for what they should do. In the basement at the same time, Roald has an idea. Gail and them are trying to figure out what they're going to do. Riley has an idea of what they should do. It turns out Wayne thinks that they should all watch all 3 Jackass movies in a row. Roald thinks that they should watch all 3 Lord of the Rings movies in a row. Gail and Rosie think that they should watch Fubar, which Bonnie has never seen. And Riley and Jonesy wants to watch Rock'em Sock'em 5 and then 6. Wayne, Katie, and Derry, they're all really excited, but Derry's worried he's going to fall asleep. They tell him, no, you won't. No, you won't. You're not going to do it. Basement. Stuart's worried he's going to fall asleep. Roald says, no, you won't. Bonnie's worried, so it's kind of the same play throughout. They decide they're going to go at it. Rosie's got pot gummies. So, and the boys, Riley and Jonesy, decide they're taking a night off from Tinder. And Wayne, Derry, and Katie also decide that they're going to get more hammered. At that point, a montage happens, basically all of them enjoying their evenings. And then everyone finally passes out. Finally, we're in Katie's bedroom, and Derry wants to talk to Wayne about someone he likes, and everything. So basically everything at this point is all in whispers. And so
it's like watching an ASMR video.
A bit, yeah. But yeah, Katie then wakes up and hears what's going on, even though Derry doesn't want her to. But it turns out Derry also has very bad breath. Back in the basement, Roald gets woken up by a fart. He finds out Stuart has been also woken up by the fart, finding out if it was him. But so Roald wants to talk to, and then after that, Roald wants to talk to Stuart about who he likes. Then over at Gail's, Gail purposely farts to wake Bonnie and Rosie up to talk about boys 7 times.
It's a handful stacked on top of each other.
Exactly. So at that point, Bonnie gets a text. Oh my God. Riley and Jonesy, they both have decided at the same time
2 texts,
to hit up Bonnie. They talk at some length about how they both try every so often to see if she's changed her mind.
Consistency, not persistency.
Exactly. They don't want to be creepy or annoying, is what they said. And then back at Gail's, Bonnie explains how Riley and Jonesy take a run at her every few months, and so basically you could set your watch to it. They decide to invite Riley and Jonesy over to Gail and Bonnie to put a little work on them. Rosie at that point decides she's going to head over to Wayne. Back in the basement, Roald wants to know who Stuart likes. Stuart is hesitant to tell him because she's out of his league. Roald encourages him, so Stuart comes clean that it's Bonnie McMurray. At that point, everybody hisses. So exactly. So and then back at Katie's bedroom, and I'm assuming this is Katie's bedroom because it doesn't look like Wayne's bed.
No, it's definitely Katie's bedroom. She's got her little shrug that she's worn a couple times on the show draped over the headboard.
All right, I didn't notice that, but I knew it didn't look like Wayne's room. So anyway, Katie wants to know more about what's going on, and she decides she's going to wingman it for Derry and invites Bonnie over. Wayne at that point decides he's going to go to crawl in with Rosie.
That's booty call territory.
That's booty call territory there. So yeah, back over at Gail's, Rosie and Bonnie are heading out. Gail's saying, but we got Riley and Jonesy coming over, and basically Rosie says, you can handle them both. She's like, okay, yeah.
I love how Bonnie says, I just want to snuggle.
Yeah, I don't. Gail's like, I don't, yeah. So finally, Roald tells Stuart that he's got to go to Bonnie. Stuart says that that's stalking, but Roald says, no, it's romance, and convinces him to go. At that point, there's a montage. Stuart's on his bike, and he crosses paths with Bonnie heading the opposite way in her truck. Riley and Jonesy showing up to Gail's. She invites them both in. They're like shrug and like, all right, yeah,
free beer for the hockey himbos, I guess.
Katie lets Bonnie in to show him where Derry's sleeping on her bed, already asleep. Rosie shows up to see Wayne putting on his boots as if he's about to head over, and she takes off her coat and she's just wearing a bralette.
Look at you with the right terminology.
See, I know what the hell I'm talking about.
Look at you, man.
And,
you're up on your ladies' under things.
Well, I like to. I'm off on taking them off, so that's where I'm about. So yeah. From there, we fade to black. So real quick, one of the things I'm going to just really barrel through my thoughts, theories, trivia.
Well, I know Austin has a million. So
I'm sure. So I'm going to go through real quick. So I think it's hilarious how dad they get about Gail's truck.
Oh yeah.
I think I wonder why Wayne and I think we can probably go into detail on this in a little bit. Why Wayne loves Monopoly so much, and I find it interesting because I haven't seen it anywhere on social media that no one has mentioned that this is Connor and Darian's first lines.
Yeah.
Ever. I don't even think
you called me back in the room at watch 7. You're like, was that Connor and Darian? And then we had to watch it over. Yeah, no, that's Roald and Stewart definitely are not moving their mouths.
Yeah. So
yeah, I would have thought the sub would have picked up on that and run with it.
Yeah.
But no.
Nobody said anything. So
they're all going to listen to this episode and go, what the fuck?
That's exactly what I'm expecting.
And the thing I think is hilarious is how Wayne jumped from Dan getting a finger in his ass to watching Jackass. Because those are the two. The ass is what links those two together. I've also never seen Fubar. I've heard of it.
It's like Canadian Jackass, right?
I think, but I haven't seen it.
Not my forte. So
yeah, but also how fucking adorable is Roald in this.
So adorable. With his little creepy girl voice that he makes, the girl at a sleepover voice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Also, I want to know what makes for a captivating fart.
Right.
Are we talking about depth or consistency, or I don't know?
Yeah, the dankness of it.
Probably.
How does one judge?
Yeah, and then and how the hell is it that all at the same time, Riley, Jonesy, Derry, and Stewart all have the same idea about hitting up Bonnie McMurray?
I actually, there is a theory on the subreddit that I actually really enjoy.
Yeah.
And that's that before Derry knew that Katie had woken up, he was actually going to try and talk to Wayne about Katie.
You think so?
I mean, there was I'm not going to read what the subreddit said, but there were a lot of instances that they were like, it feels like they're building up to this. And Katie was very over enthusiastically trying to be wingman for him when he was kind of hesitant about it. And he's always hesitant, but he's hit on Bonnie McMurray before and he's not embarrassed of it. He's not afraid of it, but he was afraid to say that he liked her this time. And I just wonder if he was biding his time to think of somebody else because what he was going to say was the one who woke up.
Well,
was snuggled in with him.
Yeah, it wasn't until we don't know that she was awake. It was kind of Wayne that woke her up.
I know. And when she responded, Derry's attitude totally changed from I'm going to talk to holy shit, she heard me. Okay, she's awake. What do I do? How do I get out of this? What do I do? What do I change? So
yeah.
It's like I said, it's a theory, and I like the theory because Derry needs somebody good, and I feel like without spoiling other things that happen in this season, I think that there are a few hints that might be getting out there. Anyway,
okay, all right.
Yeah, so we know Bonnie doesn't.
So what are your thoughts there? Awesome.
Well, specifically about Katie and Derry, I think that if he was going to take a run at her, it would have been happened when they were still in school or something, you know?
I saw that too. And totally, absolutely. However, I can honestly say that most of the people that I knew in high school that I dated, I didn't date until after high school. So
I will say it was really fucking cute how she was. How I think it was really cute how cuddled up to him she was.
Yeah,
that was really kind of cute.
Yeah, it was adorable. And it's so cozy, right? That's sibling sleepover. Just everybody's all cuddled up, and it's the middle of winter, so it's balls ass freezing outside, but it's warm in the room.
Right.
and you're all just pleasantly hammered and watching some idiot TV. That's great.
Yeah, I kind of, when I saw the scene, I was like, how did they decide that? Because that was written that way. How did they decide that she was going to snuggle Derry instead of Wayne?
Yeah,
I mean, that's kind of what led people, I think, to come up with that theory. Was that she was a lot more like right after Scorched Earth, not being interested in like finding someone for herself, but like really excited to help her friend, who it could very well be a situation of, I love him, but he's like a friend, like a brother, where Derry is like, I love her and maybe not just like a sister, like that's kind of how I was seeing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can really see it going either way. That being said, like, somebody had suggested that maybe she was that if she wasn't interested in Derry, then she would have been cuddled up on Wayne for safety's sake. And I'm like, that doesn't really make any sense, because she's not threatened in any way by Derry. Like, he may as well be her brother.
Yeah.
Because of that lifelong friendship. She doesn't have anything to fear from him.
Yeah. I mean, there was no reprisal for Dan saying that your sister's hot, Wayne. There, I said it. I regret nothing. So, I mean, there was none of that. I mean, he's, I don't know if it would be any different for Derry. Because I mean, if Letterkenny is canon, I'm assuming we're saying that Letterkenny is canon. That at that point is, they've basically all met at the same time, and Derry, has basically just always been there for her, and I think that, I think she could only see him as family. I mean, that's just my view on it right now, anyway. I mean, I could be swayed another way, I suppose.
Yeah. Like I said, I could see it going either direction. I think they're both equally plausible. So,
yeah. I mean, I think it would be interesting to see. I don't know. I would think they would have to cleverly write it so that, and not that they couldn't, because it's. Would you? I wouldn't expect that to last. I mean, I wouldn't expect it to last any longer than, say, her relationship with Riley and Jonesy. So if there was a breakup, how that would be played out, that would be, I would find that interesting,
Yeah, they could really mine that scene. My personal read on Katie is that she's aromantic, but maybe doesn't necessarily know that. Like, because of her, like, attitudes towards sex, and then not just that she's a liberated young woman, but she seems to have a very clear divide between her sexual behavior and her relationships and what she wants out of her relationships. And those two things don't really overlap much. Like,
yeah, I mean,
even when the models are staying with them, she doesn't treat them like boyfriends. She treats them like sex dolls for herself.
But I mean, but when you look at the relationship that she had with Dirks. I mean, there was, I think there was, she was hoping for romance there. And I think that, he gave that to her to some extent.
She thought that she was ready to fall in love, but picked someone who wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
And that, like, going Scorched Earth and kind of failing, I guess, might be part of that too.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's an interesting thought that she's potentially aromantic. We'll see. I mean, I would.
It could be demi-romantic. Like, it literally could be that she's hypersexual, but falling in love is a much deeper level that she's really gotten with anybody. And, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of get the impression that she thinks she's supposed to, like, and so she tried, but it just didn't work out. And now she can kind of just shrug her shoulders and say, well, I tried.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. But I would like to see Katie get sorted out. I
would like to see Katie actually date a woman.
That would be, yeah.
Right. So, like, there's a ton of bisexual chicks on this show.
Sure.
Like, almost all the named female characters are bisexual, and yet none of them date women.
Yep.
True.
We only get, like, hookups or jokes about hooking up.
Yeah. Yeah, there's only been the one hookup that we've witnessed.
That we've seen.
Yeah.
Sort of.
And I mean, we could probably assume that Katie and Bonnie have gone on a date or two, because they definitely made it known that they were at least sexually interested in each other in that one episode.
Potentially.
Yeah.
I mean, also, well, you do. Well, you also have the Gail McMurray's. When the Letterkenny leave. When they, So that was. I think that's the only other hookup I can think of that went that way. But yeah, I would like to see more of that. Maybe I'll I'll ask about that, as we, when we talk to Trevor, see if because, I know he's very much for that aspect of the show.
Yeah.
So.
Katie should just, like, revert back to series 1 and be a puck bunny and date Marianne and Betty Ann.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
Come on.
Oh, my.
Get with it, guys.
I'll be in my bunk.
Sploosh. Is that still a thing?
Sploosh.
Totally.
Yeah, well, Archer's still a thing, so yeah, of course. Sploosh. Yeah, I would like to see that. I would like to see, I think the show does, for where it's set and everything, that it does a pretty good job of representation. Even this season, where I know at the end of the season we're going to have the Indian NRG drink, so we're gonna get Tanis and the boys, and I think it's pretty good about that. I'm thinking, I wonder, maybe Katie and Ellen.
No.
Actually, I was just contemplating the comedy gold that would be Katie dating Tanis.
Yeah,
right?
Both alpha females.
Well, and also, like, Katie trying to talk to Wayne about Tanis and him being like, please shut the fuck up. I am begging you.
Would Katie date one of Wayne's exes?
Well, as long as she didn't cheat on him.
Yeah.
Like, she did hoof Tanis in the undercarriage, but not because she broke Wayne's heart.
No.
True story, because she was talking shit about Stuart.
Yeah.
There you go.
Right in the Twiffer.
But yeah, no, like, that would be endlessly hilarious for me, is if they hooked up. That would be great.
Yeah. There's so many, and there's spinoffs of this show that I think would be great.
I want a Tanis spinoff so bad it makes me vibrate.
Totally. The entire res, everything that she does there, and by the way, I'm sure it's got to have happened by now. She was,
she had her baby.
No, did she? Okay.
Yes.
I knew she was in labor last I saw.
November, my dude.
She was putting out pictures of her being in labor yesterday. I'm like, I thought
No, she was
Were those
talking
old?
about
Throwback too.
yes.
oh, okay.
Yeah, she was
'Cause I was
talking about
really
people who
confused.
go through labor with a mask on and how fucking hard it was,
Yeah.
and just basically like,
Yeah,
props
my
to all the
sister
women
had
still
to do
doing
the
this.
same thing.
Okay.
My
'cause
sister had a baby in September,
okay.
and she had to do the same thing. And it was really difficult.
Because I thought she was due in November, but I hadn't heard anything. I hadn't seen any baby pictures or if she
Nope,
put
she hasn't
anything.
put any baby pictures out.
Which is, I mean, I know that happens. And
Yeah, she's done a few things of finally putting her partner on Insta and saying this is the man that made me a mom, and like very proud about all of that, and I love it. But no baby.
okay. No,
Well,
cool.
that's my sister's done the same thing. She's not putting her kids on social media because she wants them to be able to have that privacy.
Yeah, I don't know. Babies, I mean, babies are weird looking anyway, and they're never gonna look the same once they're grown anyway. So
They all look like
I don't
Winston
know.
Churchill.
yeah.
I think Natalie looks a lot like what she did when she was a baby.
I don't know about
There are
that.
some people who do. I have one cousin who has had the same face and the same face shape her entire life. And she's got, and this is very cute, so please don't think I'm being mean when I say this, but she's got like droopy dog jowls. And as she's grown, they've kind of grown with her. So she's got very cute round cheeks that you just want to pinch.
Aw.
But like they're huge. And I love them.
I think what's funny is what we all find interestingly attractive. I mean, those weird things, those little things like that we find cute or attractive or things like that. It's, I mean, like, whatever Katie, I mean, you look at all of them there and what they've, not that everybody's not gorgeous on that show, but
show's full of 10s, man.
Yeah.
And Jake Kesey's a 12.
He's 5'11".
No, actually, Danny has a very interesting story about that. Like, he was 5'11" for the longest time, and then in his 20s, he shot up and got that extra inch, so now he's an even 6.
I was kind of like that. I was like 5'4.5", and then I got up to like 5'5.5". Now that I'm getting older, I'm back down to 5'5".
Yeah, I peaked at almost 5'4", and now I'm back down to 5'3" dead.
I love how Ellen is 5'10".
Yeah,
and then heels.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I love it. God, Jesus, please tower over me, pick me up, and pin me to the wall.
Lily
right?
Gal is awesome. I think she's a great actor. I mean, she does a great job in The Expanse, where she plays the president. And it's a completely different type of character, of course. So it just tells you how awesome she is at what she does. But yeah, I highly recommend seeking her out in her other ventures.
Yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous, and her whole thing through her date with Squirrely Dan and her conversation with Gail was hilarious, like pants-wettingly funny. I enjoyed that so much.
The first, Gail starting off, I had to book my Pabst smear.
Yeah.
And that and Stella Artois, those two things were those, I think, cracked me up the most between the two. Oh, yeah. So how are you feeling about this season so far?
I like it. I have seen a lot of people expressing some disappointment in it. In fact, one comment in particular, somebody said, so this series is just all bottle episodes. And like, my first instinct there was to just slap them with the URL to the bottle episode page from TV Tropes. Like, words mean things, my precious little idiot. Specific things.
Yeah.
But I think if you hold up Series 9 and you compare it to the other winter series, it's not different at all. Because like there's really no arc that carries through the winter series. It is a bunch of self-contained, very episodic episodes. And then you have like the big cliffhanger at the end, which is, when you compare it to series 3, series 5, and series 7, it's the same thing. Like winter is a time when life slows down.
Yeah.
And you do get these like self-contained little episodes that don't really have a through line.
I do feel like this episode in particular, though, felt like a holiday episode. Like it felt like a St. Perfect's or a Valentine's or something like that, because it was so self-contained. Like,
yeah.
Which even the ones that we've had so far, they still call back and throw forward to things that are obviously going to happen. And this one definitely felt like either this is absolutely going to be a one-off, like one of the holiday ones, or, something's going to pop up way later that has to do with this episode.
Yeah.
I think they do things. There's always a purpose, I think.
Oh yeah. And, the fact that we didn't get the back-to-back like we are so used to, because this episode or this season came out almost a year after it was originally supposed to because of the pandemic. We're used to getting like I don't know, 5 and 6 together, 7, 8 together.
Yeah.
Then we got 9, which feels disjointed because we're not used to only getting a half a season without knowing when the next part was coming out. So,
yeah. I think that does have a lot to do with it.
Yeah. I enjoyed this season a lot, and going back and watching these, they are different. It's not like
the characters are maturing.
But
also at the end of the day, they're still children with fucking problems, like what happened in this season.
Yeah. So there's I think everything spills over, and I think we're probably going to see a lot of this when 10 comes out. We're going to see how some of this has spilled over from 9 to 10, because that seems to be how some of that comes about. So like there was something else that was said in here that was a throwback to a prior season. Now I'm forgetting.
Bad gas travels fast.
The bad gas travels fast. So those types. At the very beginning. So, that's a theme of the show, of course. So, I think that's kind of how things go with Letterkenny. Is there's little seeds of things that they plant in there that are interesting. I think they bear fruit later.
Yeah, and okay, so back specifically to Derry saying he's sweet on Bonnie.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we've known that for a while, but the repetition of that seems like that's something that they're trying to build up to me.
Yeah.
They keep coming back to it, but I don't feel like it's building.
I think
that didn't feel like a secret when he said it was Bonnie McMurray, because we're like, yeah, you've talked about that in multiple seasons.
Well, I think also that this episode is supposed to be like the sleepover, like, when you're whispering at night and doing all that silly stuff. So, but I think it was, everybody finds Bonnie McMurray attractive. And it seems like everybody in the town, with the exception of Wayne, with the exception of Wayne, wants to date Bonnie. So I think that at some point, I think because Bonnie has become so integral with Letterkenny over time. At the beginning, she was just cute, bubbly, but she's become Bonnie, and so I think as she's gained her agency over time and become more of a character on the show, that, it's like, let's do something with that and let's build on that. And I think, because Derry has had shit luck with relationships and Bonnie really hasn't been in any relationships, I think that would be an interesting path to go down.
My read on that was that it was like the just between us girls talk that Wayne and Derry had in series 6. Like, he's bringing it up now, and it's in a very intimate setting, and it's sort of more serious when you bring it up like that.
Yeah.
So that was the way it read to me, at least.
Yeah. I think it's a cool concept, and I would like to see more of that.
Yeah, and it would be interesting to see Bonnie grow away from her obsessive interest in Wayne.
True.
Like, I get it,
well,
but
I mean, but she does say, when Wayne's with somebody, that she shuts it down.
Yeah, like he's with Rosie now, and she is not going to fuck that up.
Right. Yeah, and because I think everybody loves Rosie. Rosie's good people. Also, the thing. I mean, I was hoping to see more of this with Jim and Gail. I like that as well. I want to see. I want to see Gail get.
And that was another thing. Another reason why this kind of felt like a one-off holiday-ish type episode was, in recent times, Gail had been going on multiple dates with Jim Dickens. She had him right there. If she was horny, she could have done something about it. But instead, she was hanging out with the girls, which is great. But it didn't feel like it was the next episode from the last time that we saw her.
Yeah.
Well, and I wonder exactly what their steez is, because, are they dating? Because when Riley and Jonesy show up, she is more than happy to entertain them.
Right. That's my point. And did this, timeline-wise, did this end up coming out in the middle of this season because, they didn't get to do what they really wanted to do, which was have this as a one-off?
Yeah.
That could be.
Yeah. Because it's... Because if you think about it, because this is a 7-episode season, right? And usually it's 7 episodes when there is a holiday special in there. And so, this could very well be that episode, because it is kind of a quirky one, and like a lot of the holiday episodes are.
And I think Jacob Tierney said on his AMA on our sub, where they had kind of quote unquote run out of holidays to do.
Mm-hmm.
So that they were just doing 7 regular episodes in a series versus 6 and then a special. And they did that last series with 8 too. So they had 7 regular episodes instead of 6 in a special. So I think that's probably the new pattern until they decide to do, another holiday episode.
Yeah, I do like the one-off holiday stuff just because it's, different, and it just kind of it's kind of almost like throw lots of stuff at the wall, see what sticks, and let's have fun with it.
Yeah. What I'm really curious about, though, is whence comes Stuart's sudden interest in Bonnie? Because he hasn't been interested in her previously.
Yeah, that one did kind of,
that came out of left field a bit.
A little bit. I mean, him and Roald have been hanging out at the bar a little bit more. So, maybe, the closeness there, what is it? The breeds familiarity type of thing where.
I thought it was super adorable the way Roald was so encouraging of Stuart. You made love to Alley Cat and Bianca at the same time. No one is out of your league. And it's like, how good of a friend are you? You are in love with this person and you're encouraging him to pursue someone else.
Roald is full of compersion.
Oh,
that's the word for the day, kids. Go look it up.
Yeah. And then, so Riley and Jonesy. First of all, those 2 nutsacks have sleepovers all the time.
Oh, yeah. I don't doubt
that's
that a bit.
Canon. Okay. Especially given their conversation with Bonnie in series 8 about, the load code of the road.
Yeah.
So them taking a run at Bonnie, that was something that was built up slowly over several seasons as well. Because in was it series 6 when they're in the gym? Bonnie consoles them over not having a team, and then she lets them buy her a drink. And then in series 7, there's not so much interest in her from them in series 7, but in series 8, when they're doing their post tourney celly in the bar, they hit on her a couple of times. So that's also something that's been like breadcrumbs, slowly building up, very slowly. But it'd be interesting to see if there's payoff there. I don't think there will be much because she genuinely does not seem interested in them.
Yeah, but I think it seemed like she was willing to give her a go. Yeah,
she was willing to entertain the idea just to see what the fuss was about, I think.
Yeah, but in the end, she just says, I just want to cuddle, and
yeah.
So,
also, she's been way more interested in Daryl than anyone else except Wayne. Like, going back to series 7 again, going back to series 6, when Bonnie heard that Derry was single, she jumped at the chance to dance with him.
She did.
And then in series 7, when he walked into the bar on his way to Quebec, she came out from the back and she said that, what did she say? She said, there's lots of girls out there who wouldn't do that to you. You just need to open your eyes. And she was like pure flirting with him too on Crackenack. She ignored Wayne, who offered to let her try on his turtleneck, which means he would have to take it off. She straight up ignored him or shut him down, and then basically threw herself at Derry.
Yeah.
So the only reason that they didn't actually do anything about it was Derry he threw away his shot.
Yeah, I think even as you notice through playing Monopoly, Derry doesn't always make the best decisions. So
Gary is not a forward thinker.
He is not. But I mean, you got to root for the guy. He's, he wants what Wayne has. I think he sees that.
Yeah.
And I think more than, what's, Katie going scorched earth. I think he wants something that's, he wants what Wayne has, I think.
He wants a relationship.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. He definitely strikes me as someone who feels very comfortable with the idea of settling down and pairing off and having a partner, capital P.
Yeah. True.
It's just unfortunate that so far he's the women he's interested in aren't as interested in him.
Yeah. I think he needs to work on that for sure.
Yeah. And anyway, who is surprised that Derry has bad breath after the whole scolding about his hygiene game that Dan and Wayne gave him? Right?
Oh, people floss.
Right?
They both look at him like, oh.
Yeah.
So,
people floss, dude.
Yeah. So, ready for a little fuck fight for this episode is, I think this is going to be interesting to see how this turns out. So, Fuck Fight Furters, everybody knows, if you've been here before, is our version of Fuck, Marry, Kill, where we don't kill anybody, we don't marry anybody, we want to fuck them or fight them, or we'll just be their buddy Ferda. So, let's start off with Wayne. Awesome. Where are you on Wayne?
I'm always going to fuck Wayne.
How did I know that you were going to say that?
Like, you don't need to ask me that anymore, dude. Just put him down. Fuck in perpetuity.
I'm gonna make a tattoo template for you with just Wayne's name and a fuck fight Ferda and with a hash mark on fuck for that.
Yep. Cross the other two out. Circle fuck real big and bold.
Fuck.
Yeah, Ferda. I mean, this episode, it's so cute because like both he and Rosie make the decision to go to each other.
Mm-hmm.
She just makes it to him first. And it's just, I love that. I love how adorable that is.
Yeah.
They're so perfect.
They really are.
I'm still gun shy from
I know.
Marie Fred. So, because I was under the same, I felt that way with them. I'm like, they were so cute together, and Wayne and Rosie are, no, stop it. So, Miss Katie.
I'm going to fuck Katie. She wants to go scorched earth still, right? So
Scorch my earth, Katie.
Yeah, please.
I don't know. This is a weird one, a weird episode for me for her because I know Scorched Earth was the last one, but she doesn't really, like, she's not interested in sex in this one. She's interested in getting her good buddy laid, basically. And I find that, I'm going to say Ferda, but like, I get it.
That could be interesting, actually, because as you point out, she's keen to wingman for Derry. That could have turned into like a whole three-way situation.
Right? That's actually kind of what I was like,
oh my.
Ooh, if he'd stayed awake. Because she was like, come on. Right. And like going into her bedroom holding Bonnie and, oh, he's asleep. Like she was disappointed too. So I'm like,
yeah,
maybe.
Well, if Bonnie just wanted to cuddle, she could just jump right in there.
Nutsack, but also because she kind of wanted to,
Yeah. Derry.
If Derry takes a bath and brushes his teeth and doesn't wear his barn clothes, I'm in.
All right.
I am super keen to get Derry out of his barn clothes.
Yes.
All right then.
True story.
Derry's
but he needs to get out of his
laid.
barn clothes, take a bath, and then put on clothes that are not his barn clothes.
Yeah.
See, those are all group activities. If you get your mind right.
I like those kind of group activities. All right.
See, get on my level.
Grope activities. Daniel.
Dan wasn't in this episode.
Yes, he was.
No. He was only mentioned.
He was at the very beginning in the open.
He was in the opener.
Yeah, the cold up. Man, that conversation. I have had those conversations had at me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're not actually a participant in those things. No, that's just an excuse for the dudes to vent.
It just, because as soon as it happened, because they were leaning forward, and as soon as she brought it up, they all just, it was like a gear click, chick, and then
they looked at each other and then sat up.
What you putting in there? Is it 5W30, 10W30?
Right? It's like they all suddenly felt like 10 times more manly because they got to talk about cars.
Oh yeah, and the computer one, just that one got me. It was like computer. I
love it. I'd Ferda Dan. And I think it's cute how protective they are of Gail. Mm-hmm. But then the way they get sidetracked into talking about the car salesman degen is just fucking hilarious.
Yes.
Very true. Yeah. And I love that Jim Dickens was there. That I think that was excellent. That part on its own, just him being there.
Well, and that was actually something that I didn't talk about when we were talking about the episode. Like the others seemed like they were really pissed off in their stories, but he seemed genuinely like traumatized.
He had a story.
He had a story. Like, guy never sat down. He just like stood over him the whole
chose to
time.
Have that power over me.
Right. Like he was really bothered by it.
Yeah.
He stole my flip flops from the community pool, and I can prove
it. They all have a revolver under their seat, and they all know why.
Like, who hurt you, Jim?
Right.
Yeah.
I do hope this means that we get to see Jim more regularly.
I really hope so.
I would like that.
I love that character.
Alex is a great actor. He plays Jim perfectly. I definitely
get him on this podcast.
I would like to. I'll reach out to him.
I would
like to reach out to Jim.
I don't know if I could talk to him after talking on the podcast about how I want to climb him like a telephone pole.
Well, I mean, you know what? I'll be on too, and you sit there in like wet pants solidarity.
It's a slip and slide over here, boys.
Into it.
I'm so glad I made that GIF because I use it all the fucking time.
All right. So
yeah,
where are you on? Where are you on? No, hang on. We're not on. That was
you said Jim.
No. Well, I did say Jim. But that was so you're gonna fuck Jim. So,
okay.
But I was on Dan because I hadn't heard anything.
Oh, right.
So
right.
Dan, where are you on Dan? Awesome.
I will refer to Dan.
Okay.
Daniel has a lady now. And Daniel is a monogamist. So Daniel gets a Ferta from me.
All right.
And I love that she calls him Daniel. I'm going to keep
Yes.
Daniel.
Rosie.
I'm gonna fuck. Can I fuck Wayne and Rosie at the same time?
Yes.
Like, can we get that going on?
Seriously.
That would be the ideal situation, I believe.
Exactly what I was thinking of when you said Wayne earlier. I was like, ooh, can I? Yes.
Yeah.
All right,
Rosie is my brand. I have said that on this show before, but I'm reiterating it now.
All right, so everybody's fucking Rosie. Right. So Bonnie McMurray.
Bonnie just wants to cuddle, and that's fine.
Yeah. So I'm taking those as Fertas.
Yeah. Although, okay, I also had a question that I didn't bring up earlier about Bonnie. What do you think she was thinking when she was driving to Derry, but looked out the window and saw Stuart on his bike looking at her?
Yeah.
Like, it's obvious what Stuart was thinking.
What's Stuart doing?
Right,
in the
right.
road,
Yeah.
like going to Gail's house.
Yes. Why is this kid riding his? And he has a car.
Stuart?
Yeah. Remember when he went to pick
he
Katie
did,
up?
didn't he?
Yeah.
Probably doesn't drive well in the snow, though.
Maybe. I don't know. But yeah,
He had like that little shitbox sedan. Probably doesn't pay for winter tires.
probably. Yeah. But do you think he has winter tires on his bike?
I mean, he's not wearing a helmet. Shame.
Yeah.
But anyway, Bonnie. Yeah, Ferta.
Ferta Bonnie. Okay. Riley and Jonesy.
These two precious idiots.
It's down there. I would love to just point out that when they were talking about Riley and Jonesy, when Rosie and Bonnie and Gail were talking about Riley and Jonesy, would you let them in there? Which one? Does it matter?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
That's why
Riley or Jonesy? Yeah.
Which is why we always put them together. So,
right. That was the first time that it was really laid out that way in the TV show. And I
On
thought
their
that was
fucking
awesome.
penicillin prescription, when they had the clap, it says Riley and Jonesy. They're one fucking person.
Yeah.
I can't, Ferta. I'm too much in my brain about that kind of thing. I'm.
All right. That's all right.
No, I'd defer to them too. They're lovable idiots.
Yeah.
Like it's like a puppy who you have to smack on the nose when they piddle on the carpet, but they look up at you with the big eyes. You know?
Yeah.
Like me.
Did you say I have to smack you on the nose when you piddle on the carpet?
You don't
Yeah.
piddle on the carpet.
Is that what we're calling it? Sturt.
I'm going to say Ferta because he didn't make me want to punch him this time. But he was very elitist when Roald was like, I'll go get the DVDs. And he was like, Blu-ray.
Blu-rays
and rolled his
rolled.
eyes. Yeah. I was like, see, I don't like that shit. Don't do that shit.
No, if Ferta can include a healthy smack,
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Always.
the same.
right.
Now, that being said, of all the groups that we see in this episode, I would enjoy watching the Lord of the Rings movies more than Jackass
Yes.
with Fubar.
Absolutely. Like, hands down.
Rock'em Sock'em.
TV shows and movies like Jackass and the like are not, they don't hold any interest for me whatsoever. I
they're
don't
not
like
my
cringe humor. I don't like seeing people get hurt and laughing at it. It just doesn't work for me.
No.
Yeah.
So yeah, and Lord of the Rings, come on.
I have
They were
done
great.
that, though. I have done that though. I have queued up all 3 extended edition Lord of the Rings movies and just powered through it like a fucking champ.
Sure, when those DVDs came out, it was still in DVD land, not in Blu-ray then. But when those DVDs came out, I remember I had a friend who got the trilogy, and I mean, we just got really stoned and watched it for an entire weekend and like ate pie. So, like that's all I remember is the pie and watching Lord of the Rings.
I did that exact thing.
So Rolled.
Who do you like?
Who
does Roldy like besides Stuart? Who does Roldy like?
Well, he likes Ron and Dax. And hold on.
Whatever's going to stop this whole narrative.
Well,
I think he likes Jim Dickens.
Well, he said, I'd never really thought about him, and now I can't stop thinking about him. Like,
okay,
I'm not talking about who they'd have sex with. I mean, I want to see Roldy get a relationship. I want to see him like somebody, not just Stuart.
That would be great. But no, in series 7, when Jim's doing the announcing for the Cary County Eagles, and he comes into the booth and he tells the Skids to play OCM by Susan Aglukar, Rold is looking up at Jim and he's like, tall. And it's like, you fucking liar. You said you never thought of him like that. You totally have. You thought of him like that right then.
He was thinking about it as it's a 3-hander. That's what he was thinking about. Still not bigger than Stuart's.
Series 7. Tall. Yeah, no, that was hilarious.
I think Rold is a size queen.
I think Rold wants to protect the idea that, he's proud for Stuart about Stuart's horn. And so he wants to make sure everybody knows, no, Stuart's is bigger. I bet Stuart's is bigger. Stuart's is
he
big.
stands Stuart's horn.
Yes. That's a great way to put it. I can't do that lingo yet. I'm not quite there.
The only reason I know it is because I have many, many nieces, nephews, and niblets of various genders, and they teach me these things because they want to help their old auntie.
Oh yeah, my stepdaughter tries to teach me, and I'm just like, it's okay. I'm going to keep saying rad. It's fine.
No, that's great. Fucking 1980s.
Yeah, that's wicked.
Bitchin'.
Bitchin' Camaro. Bitchin'. Okay, anyway.
All right. Gaylor.
I'd fuck Gail.
This is going to be so totally terrible, but just the fact that when she was pretending to sleep, she was staring at the ceiling with her mouth open the whole time. Like, I couldn't. I don't know why that really stuck in my head, but no. I'm going to say Ferda because for some reason that just totally ruined my brain.
Okay. All right.
Tiara doesn't hang with mouth breathers.
I don't.
All right. So finally, Jim Dickens. We know where you are with Jim Dickens. Awesome.
I'm gonna fuck Jim. I have to confess, Jim bears a striking resemblance to my partner of 17 years.
Is that so?
Everything.
Oh my.
Everything.
One.
I plead the 5th.
Good.
I plead the 1. I plead the 2. I plead the
3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the only thing my husband has longer than Jim is his hair.
What? I'm sorry.
Anywho. So yeah, that's all I got there. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah, that's it. I don't think there's anybody. Connor and Darian did have their first speaking lines.
That is true. I'm going to say Ferda because I want to hear more words.
Yeah.
Yeah, same. Like, what's going on behind the gas mask? Tell me.
Coffee, tea, Sega. Loved it.
Oh, and while we're on video games, fucking Rold's little Scottish accent.
Oh.
You need more rings.
You need more rings, Stuart.
That's great. That's a good combo of Dr. Eggman and Scotty from Star Trek.
What do you got, T?
Well, like we covered almost everything. I just was trying to make sure, since I unfortunately had to run out of the room a couple of times during this. Did you guys talk about?
No, we did not.
Okay, so
because I did look that up.
Yeah, there was the scene where Riley and Jonesy are they're watching hockey, and they say, how do they say it? Discanio, or whatever is it they say. Like they used it as like a cheers. Yeah, that's the last name of an Italian aeronautical engineer who helped design the Vespa.
Actually, there's a hockey player.
There is a hockey player.
Yeah, because I looked up the last name plus hockey.
I was really fucking confused about that.
There was a hockey player that played in the early mid. It was like 2002 to 2007. I think his first name was Jason. But yeah, because when I first looked up that name, it was like 2 pages worth of the guy who created the Vespa.
Yeah, I was like, what? Why do they care about the Vespa?
I'm like, no, that can't be it. It's got to be hockey.
If we're talking about hockey, I really liked the whole shout out to the Battle of Alberta thing.
Yeah,
it's very, very cute because number one, Nathan Dales and Jared. Nathan Dales is from Alberta, and Nathan and Jared's favorite hockey team is the Calgary Flames, who Jonesy is pulling for,
right? And
Riley is pulling for the Edmonton Oilers, right. Who Jim Playfair, Dylan's dad, is the coach for the Edmonton Oilers.
Oh, cool.
Is he now? Is he currently the coach for there, or I thought he was in the States now.
I'm not too sure on that. He might have been their former coach, but either way, very cute hockey shouts out for both of them.
I figured there had to be some reason for that, and I didn't bother looking it up because I didn't have a lot of time to put this one together. So it was this was a much quicker, and it was also kind of a weird episode with the way all the scenes were cut. So.
I mean, I liked how they did it. I liked how they weaved everything together. So, like, almost everybody basically was doing the exact same thing, just in different ways and with different people, and how they ended up in different configurations at the end.
Well, yeah, and how one scene from, say Riley and Jonesy would lead to the continuance of that scene from like Gail's apartment. So those types of things I thought were very clever and well done.
And to Tiara's point earlier about this being more like a holiday episode, where you have like everybody doing the exact same thing at the same time, it's very. The whole sleepover is a tradition, capital T, like the Hicks like to observe. And so you do get the sense that this is like the same conversation that they've had 100 times before. You get the sense that this is the same activities that they've participated in before, and everybody knows how this tradition is supposed to go and what comes next, and everybody's throwing themselves into it gleefully because this is just what you do during the winter, during these like really long, cold, dark nights. You come together around a light of some kind and you make your own entertainment.
Yeah, I think that's probably a very Canadian thing to do. It's probably kind of a Midwest as well. In the middle of winter,
it's a lot of snow and regularly. A lot of very isolating winters.
Not happening in Texas though. So
Jesus fucking Christ! Can we just for a second talk about how Texas is colder than Alaska? That's fucking crazy to me.
Yeah.
Next motherfucker who comes up to me and says climate change isn't real, I'm gonna need y'all to bail me out of jail because I will do a murder.
Done. Do a murder. I like that.
Yep.
Oh, wait, one last thing. One last thing.
One final thought from Tiara. Yeah.
Rosie mimicking Gail. Getting all up in there. It was so perfectly Gail. And I was in that moment, I was like, okay, I see that they're cousins. I can see the family.
The other thing was Rosie is familiar enough with Gail's farts.
Yeah.
The clock. Yep. And again, how does one judge a fart? Is she going for palette or bouquet? I mean,
the density.
That's not my Y'all talk about that one. I'm not.
This is the new fart book.
Oh no! I mean, the farts were kind of cute in this one, but like Stuart, it's always Stuart one after another, and then all of a sudden you're like, no, wait, it's Gail 7 times.
7 times.
That's hilarious. Because the original fart from Gail was a transition from
Stuart.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay, so the original fart from Stuart was a transition from Katie's bedroom
Right.
to the Skids' basement, and that actually kind of shocked me a little bit because I was like, no, the three of them have very strict codes about when it's appropriate.
And Derry made a face during that cut.
Conversation.
Yeah.
Derry made a face too right before the cut. So you're like, wait, did Derry just fart? No, it's.
Or was it Katie?
It's Derry.
Katie farts. Yeah.
Katie's a lady. She excuses herself and goes to the washroom.
All right. Any other final thoughts here about this episode or future things or?
I am looking forward very much to Series 10.
Yes.
Shooting, according to all the sources I know, starts in May. So,
awesome.
Fingers crossed we can get that shit before the end of the year.
Yes, that would be nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Let's remind everybody to wear a fucking mask or two.
And wash your goddamn hands.
We are like this close. And if you just give it up now and go to Cancun like an asshole, then you're just going to keep it prolonged. Like, yeah, I'm just not going to go any farther on that. Just seriously, wear a fucking mask.
Please, wear
Stay
a fucking
home.
mask.
I'm not going to say
home.
please. Just fucking do it or I will punch you.
Seriously.
I can respect that.
I will. I see it as assault or attempted assault. If you're not wearing a mask around me, I will fucking punch you. So,
Yeah, it's self-defense, man. You're just getting it in first.
there you go.
Valid,
Exactly.
right, yeah.
I mean, if I granted, I should stay socially distant, so I'll do it with a hockey stick.
Hockey stick is exactly 6 feet long.
There you go.
Perfect.
Fucking nose check. Pow.
Check.
All right. Anything else we got? Anything else we before we tidy this up here? And
Thanks for having me on again.
course.
I love talking to you
we
guys.
love you.
It's always awesome hanging out with awesome.
That's why they call it awesome. Everything
I
is
get my own
awesome.
theme song.
Everything is awesome.
Not that one. That's like way too pro-capitalism for me.
It is about the workers. All right. So, awesome. Thanks for joining us. We love having you here. And, of course you're going to be back. So,
Yeah.
and any place people can come yell at you about the way you handle things on the Letterkenny subreddit.
Yeah, you can yell in my mod mail. If you fucking chat to me on Reddit about moderation, I will block and ignore your ass.
There's also the Discord and
Yeah, there's the Discord.
You're not on Facebook. You're
No, not on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. I'm on
You getting on the
Tumblr.
You gonna get on the TikTok?
Probably not. I'm not that cool.
I mean, it is a good serotonin boost now. I will fully admit to being wrong before.
Yeah, I have issues with the app itself and how it uses data. So, like, I will go, I will watch TikToks that are sent to me, and I will occasionally go on the site using a VPN. And I do enjoy, for example, Michelle Milet's TikTok, but probably not going to be signing up for one of my own.
All right then.
Cool.
All right.
Cool.
Well, so on that note, we will see everybody soon and have a little bit more of our friends over at Flexidecibel here. All right, everybody. Thanks again for joining us. Thanks to Awesome for joining us again. We love you. Thanks to Flexidecibel. We love you guys too. Beautiful intro and outro music. Also, next week, we will be back with episode 6 from season 9 with Trevor Risk, covering Restaurant, the episode that he wrote. So we intend to have lots of fun shenanigans going on with that one. So everybody tune in. Go check us out on TikTok. Check us out on the Twitter. Check us out on the Facebook, though I don't really do the Facebook well enough anymore, but we're there. Instagram, you have it. Send us an email. Do all the stuff. It's in our show notes. You fucking know it. We love you. Come back next week. Ferda.